Welcome to the Dare to Be podcast. This is season 2, episode 2. Our topic is, I'm Austin. Let's not jump ahead. And my co host is
Camilo, and today we're just daring to be. Okay. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. And it's episode 2, season 2. It's a good time. We thank God for being here. That we're back, and we are able to just continue on our journey. So, those of you joining us, thank you for joining us. Come back. Let's keep going.
Yeah, not just surviving, but thrive.
Boy, 2020 thrive. Ha. So, let me just give a bit of a recap. So, we have been speaking about occupation, and we are continuing to talk about that. The subtitle, More Than a Job. And we have been reading from Genesis 1 to 3. Well, so far we only read Genesis chapter 1 up until chapter 2 verse 3, as well as chapter 2 verse 50. It's basically the creation account, all that God did, all the different days, day 1 to 7. And then verse 15 of chapter 2 is God placing Adam in the garden and saying must tend to it. Yeah. And then so that's pretty much where we are. We answered 5 questions, and I'll quickly just run through them. We answered who is the central figure in the creation story. I believe you were saying it was God. What are some things the passage tells us about our place in the world? What does it say about human culture? I remember you had some interesting answers there. What does he bless them mean? Also some very interesting answers there, especially remember your group. God portrays himself as a worker. Name some of the work and crafts he ascribes to himself in the rest of scripture. Some pretty cool stuff there, like the carpenter, I remember the physician and stuff. And then final question we answered last time was, what evidence do you see here that being made in God's image may have something to do with work? So man, that was something good for us to introspect on. And I think as we continue into the study, to just really step up into following in the footsteps of our Creator, of our Father. And will you lead us on the way to the
So the next question is, what is God's first command to humankind? Does this have special significance? I think that's chapter 2, verse 15 is the first command, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the first time he speaks to them there. I missed it earlier. But on your ask, that's to read 2 verse 3 and then 2 verse 15.
Because verse 15 is the Lord God placed the man in the garden of Eden to tend and watch over it.
Oh, that is. Well, what happens in 2 verse 3?
So the creation, verse 2, chapter 2, verse 3 is all about the Sabbath day, the seventh day.
Okay, right.
Command, I'm trying to look at even in quotation marks.
Check the day 6. Maybe it's in day 6. In chapter 1.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Verse 28.
Okay. Be fruitful and multiply. Okay. Fill the earth and govern it. Reign over the fish in the sea and birds in the sky and all the animals that scurry along ground. So thus translation with NLT. I think we read NIV in previous ones. So just heads up there. Cool. So our question is, just to go over it again, what is God's first command? So the first command is be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and govern it. So it's almost like a 2-part command. So first, be fruitful and multiply, and then the governing part of it. So I guess that answers that. And then, does this have special significance? Yeah, so again, our main topic is occupation and working. And literally God's first command, or the second part of his command, is governance, reigning over the fish up in the sea, the birds in the sky, so on and so on. So we can, why is it significant? Because it's one of the first commands God gave. So it shows us how important it is to God that we look after and we govern this creation. That's my answer. What any you can ask we have in there, so
my answer will of course be the same for what his first command is. As be fruitful and multiply, and let's rule over govern and all that. So in terms of significance, I think definitely the fact that the first thing he does is command them, and the first command he gives is this, means if there's one thing he wanted them to know, one thing he wanted them to embody, it was this. And for me, there's significance in that. That for me means that this is God's heart for us, fundamentally. That also, I think it flows out of who he is. If you look at the way it just continues to resonate with the creation story, the whole thing of, like for instance, there were lights set over the day and lights set over the night, or that to govern the, fish and whatnot to cover the sea, the rest to cover the sky, whatever. I think it's sort of just listed like that. So it's a pattern. It's a design that God has made. So it's important for us to look to it and to understand that there's a responsibility and a blessing in that. Or the blessing comes later, but there's a responsibility and a blessing in that. There's a fulfillment, I think, in that being the first thing he tells us. And I think also, what I was trying to sort of get to earlier on is, it feels like that's also who God is. That's what he does. He covers everything. He's fruitful. He's multiplied stuff. That's what he does to us.
Yes, yeah.
For creation stories about. He's saying, I've made you in my image. Do the same with what I've given you. You cannot necessarily create as I can create, but you can definitely multiply.
If you think of, on that point, if you think of the animals and the human beings, he created them to be fruitful. Like within us, we can multiply. It's within us. It's like I don't think there are natural things that can't procreate, is there?
Maybe it is. No, all living things to some degree multiply. Whether it's
Even plants, yeah.
yeah, whether it's I forget the different types now. It's gone so long. But like I think jellyfish can just split or something. I feel really old. You know how cells
Asexual.
asexual reproduction, like you say. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway. Okay, cool. Did I want to this or something? What about, okay, isn't the mountain like a creation, but that doesn't multiply?
And it's not a living being though. It's part of the earth. Because you're not a living. Because if you look at all these things, right? There's things that were revealed, but not things that were necessarily made and scattered. Like mountains, those.
It was revealed, it appeared, like God moved the waters.
Yeah. So the stuff that was pre-existing to some extent, was pre-made. What's the word? Primordial. I think.
Primordial.
However.
So a volcano is not a nothing.
No, I can't necessarily. I mean, can say the earth is alive because of that. But that's just the constant movement and driving. Because, I wouldn't say the ocean is necessarily alive, but it's definitely got.
It's moving and stuff, yeah.
So it's very interesting stuff, man.
But anyway, we're going off topic. Yes. All right. Next question, sir.
Okay. Could you just see it? I'm called, but it's fine. Yeah, I didn't info. Okay, that's like my eyes are that bad, dude. It's fine. I have it, Joe. I have it right. You should see how much he's zooming in right now.
I don't know what point.
That's hilarious. How did work come into the world? And what are the implications of this? Well, sorry, hold on. Let's go see the answer quickly. Oh yeah. For question 6. So, again, question was, what is God's first remark to humankind? Does this have special significance? Answer is, according to Bible, in addition to blessing them, he commissions them to develop human culture. So this is a defining purpose for humanity. I like our answers way more, but that's like vain wraps it up, but okay. Next question is, how did work come into the world? And what are the implications of this for how we should view work?
Okay, so we know the commandment was to govern, be fruitful and multiply. And then the reason it told us to read verse 15, the Lord God placed the man in the garden of Eden to tend and watch over it. So for me, tending and watching over is maintenance, watering, cutting, I guess even like helping animals give birth back then, because you have to help them. Um, yeah. So how did it come into the world? God, God put us here to work. I guess so. It came from God. Um, the next part of the question is, what are the implications of this for how we should view work?
Hmm.
What are the implications? Again, it's one of the very first things God has told Adam to do, and it's important for him. It's it's in our DNA, it's in our creation to work, to, like I guess the Bible said, to develop this culture, to develop society, to keep improving, keep maintaining, looking after. Um, yeah, I think it's just how God created us. He created us in his image. And we know from the first chapter, God was a God of work. He was doing things, doing it very powerfully, yes, but still he was working. Um, yeah, that's how should we view work? We should just view it we shouldn't think of it as, I guess that sometimes it can be a burden and there's stuff like burnout and stuff. But I guess we'll get into that later. But I think at its core, we just look at work. We weren't created to be lazy. We were created to look after God's creation in many forms. It's obviously as technology improved over centuries and millennia, thing, but the way work, how we do work has changed. But I guess the view of work shouldn't change. Mm. But what's crazy, I'm gonna go a bit off topic. If you look at society nowadays, it's all about how less work we can do. Yeah. Which I don't know. I don't. It's so crazy because yes, technology has improved a lot of things, but the population still increased and people are still working. You know what I mean? Like there's still work to do. It's just changed. Mm. Yes, we don't walk from point A to point B, but now we've got people working as, I guess, taxi drivers to take you from point A to point B. So like jobs have been created. It's so crazy. No matter like how much technology involves, this thing of work still exists. That's, yeah. I mean, like software development, that wasn't a thing 50 years ago, and now it's like everyone is doing it. Well, even though it took the roles of so many jobs, it also added the roles to work. So yeah. Don't underestimate working, I guess. Yeah. What are your answers?
Well, some interesting points, bro. Some interesting points. So yeah, now to be that working into the world's based on God's commission of it, based on us following after God's example, because he was working to put all things together. He works to, create the world and design us, and he made it so that it's part of our makeup. Like you're saying, it's DNA and whatnot. So that's how it came into the world. God, like in a very simplified way to say it, made us for it. He told us to do it, though. But so for me, that's how it came in. The same way it's almost like we can put it up there with how did hunger come into the world. That's how we're made. How did sleep, it's how we're made, It's something that at the core of our very being, something that as part of our fulfillment and purpose, as far as we can be in these bodies. So yeah, and the implications of this for how we should view work means that we should see it as an opportunity to, I think, glorify God, as an opportunity to fulfill to fulfill our purpose. And yeah, man, it's something to just also keep us true, keep us on a good path, keep us accountable to God, keep us accountable to other people. Work does so well to do that. Because when we have nothing to do, when we're listless, it's just so much room for aimlessness, there's so much room for perversion, there's so much room for just antsiness and anxiety and just yeah, just being lackluster, man, in mind or in heart. He's being like, just like and then of course, like self-indulgence. Like for me, work also is just it helps so much in forming our hearts for humility, for generosity, for unity. So there's so many different things that work just helps with and that. But yeah, also just with what you were saying, how it's transformed over time. And thing is, yeah, um, as more and more people come into the world, we need to find different ways to do things because, yeah, you need to be able to do more when you only have so much. And there's some things that can only scale so fast. That's why, for instance, production lines became a thing however many decades or even, I think maybe almost 200 years ago or whatever. I don't remember in the industrial, proper, like, first or second, maybe industrial revolution. But anyway, um, yeah, this way machines and stuff started to come through and stuff. It all makes sense that we want to be able to, or ideally, just be able to produce for more people. That's ideally what you do. But of course, a lot of people use it to just make more money and keep it out themselves. Well, that's so important. We'll probably dive into money a bit later on, but possibly. Let us see what the answer is for that question. It says here, God created work. Okay, we said that. And what is the second part was the implications of this, how we should view it. Uh, it can be a blessed activity, a part of our calling, and an action of co-creation. Yeah, I like that actually. I love it. Yeah, speaks about purpose. I mean, that's like the number one things humans struggle with. Is like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I here? And then it's like, but this activity of working is a blessed thing because it helps you find what your calling is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Question 8, I shall read. Okay, what is the significance of the fact that work was created before Adam and Eve sinned? Ooh. Okay, first thing that comes to mind there is because in the fall, okay, but that's because I know what it's written. Yeah. At least that's what forms my perspective. Let us say that. Unless is what how they want us to answer. But anyway, I think that we can't say that work is punishment for anything. Yeah. Because it got harder because God did say that, yeah, like it would take longer for you to you work the ground. Will see your brow will sweat. Oh yeah, yeah. He says that in the 4. So, but nonetheless, even without the 4, work is something we are supposed to do. I think just the fruitfulness of work, the ease of it was different before the 4. But yeah, so work is not punishment. Work is not something to just be passing through or tolerated. I think it's so important for us to really do it excellently, for us to really do it pure, is for us to view it as good and right. To do it because it's the right thing to do. Obviously you find your space or you find your place where you can fit in and, just do great work for God, but that's pretty much it. But any work really that, you find yourself coming across, like if you find yourself being equipped with something or you should find something in your hands, you're not making a complete mess of it, then it's chances are that's good work for you to do, man. I think that's pretty much what I'll say for me. What about you, son? Yeah, no, I agree with all your points. I like the fact that it's a lot of times we think it's a punishment. And I mean, when we do read it later on, there is punishment for sinning. Like there is. But the essence of work and like your purpose and calling, that isn't the punishment. You know? So I do like it, bro. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Let's see what they have to say. So our Bible study answer is work has value in itself. It is not the result of sin and therefore not something to view negatively. Basically, what KB said. Cool. Got some. You got some. All right. Next one. What do the scriptures teach about the scope of human work and culture? I think like what I mentioned earlier, no matter the time, the place, or technological advancements, work is a part of human culture, society, which is again, maybe I'm going off topic. It seems like society for the for the longest time is is just moving away from work. Yes, technology is increasing and stuff, and yes, there's still jobs out there. But like, I'm thinking very sci-fi because I'm a sci-fi geek now. Like, if you read about these stories and books and fiction of like mankind 1,000 years later, it's so what is a really nice word. The depravity. I don't know. That's the word. Dystopian. No, no. Okay, dystopia is one thing. It's just human culture has become so like self-indulging in these fictional stories because they got into a point where AI literally can do everything. There is no need for you to work. It has this sentient AI has figured out everything. You know, the most efficient way to transport humans for food production. Because when you boil it down, or what society says a human is, they need to eat, drink, and then I guess multiply or whatever, pleasure themselves, I guess, in whatever way. But for a human to live long, eat, sleep, drink water, and then just, I guess, mental health. Maybe, okay, I'm going off. What I'm trying to say is society as a whole wants to get to this point where there is no need for humans to be work. That's the reason we've created AI. We want AI to think for us. We want AI to even edit videos. No, like, I mean, we also guilty. We're using AI to cut out background noise. We are still busy, but um, it's not a problem. Yeah, it's not in and of itself a problem. You know? It's like, I mean, I could work harder and get rid of the background noise. Use it, but no, you don't have. You don't have to. It's okay. No, anyway. As a like a tool is a tool. Like, isn't okay. Anyway, so and then a lot of times in these sci-fi stories, like at the core of the society they create, like people just don't know what to do anymore because everything is being done for them. So then like they go really deep into how they try debauchery. Yes, it gets hectic in these stories where it's like just about me, I can, do whatever I want, would do whatever I want, and I don't have to feel any consequence. And they keep trying to pleasure themselves because not even had any meaning because they created this AI or they created the society where there is no need for work. And I guess even with us, and I talked to you, okay, we're off topic. I talked to you early this year, or I think 2 weeks ago, about me trying to figure out discipline. And one of the reasons we do fall into sin is because we are not disciplined, is because we're not doing what God's calling for us. We're trying to focus on God's commands. We either feel ashamed or a lot of time, especially when I found myself sinning, especially with lustful sin, is because I was bored. What is bored of not doing work or not finding an activity to do? Not being occupied, occupation. Yeah, exactly. So discipline is another thing that I feel is part of what we're talking about working. Because, yeah, we need to discipline your body and your mind so that when tasks come your way, you are in the right headspace to deal with. And when we're not in the right headspace to do it, we look for other things to fill that void. And that's where sin comes in. Uh, and I mean, it's not really mentioned in the Bible, but what was Eve and Adam doing under the tree? Why weren't they looking after the little sheep, man? What? Why were they just chilling? But God does talk about rest. We don't know which day they sin. Was it the Sabbath day? Was it the day of rest? Who knows? Anyway, that's enough about going off topic. Okay, good sir. What do these scriptures teach about the scope of human work in culture?
I think for me, I'll say the scope is for us, okay, in what we do, we should multiply. And what we do, we should govern, we should oversee. And in doing that, that inherently has a responsibility for things, a looking after of things, not a consumption of things, right? So for me, that's sort of what I'm seeing or thinking about when I see this question is the scope for us is to do well, to nurture, to cultivate, to build up, and to share, you know. To multiply. Yeah.
It's
So
okay,
for
wait,
me,
just to stop you there. Every time I hear the word multiply, I'm only thinking of one thing. But
sex.
when we're talking about multiplying, it's not just that.
Yeah.
I don't even think it is that.
No, well, that's part of it, but it's fruitfulness. Fruitfulness involves the work that we do. It involves the things that we produce, just everything is just grow. So yeah, it's definitely not just have children. Definitely not just have children. Iris. So yeah, man.
Like if you were a farmer, that is like
That's multiplication.
that's multiplication.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mathematicians not here. So yeah. So yeah, man. I think that's the scope, and yeah, just again to keep in mind that it's not with the view for just a consumptive attitude or consumptive hearts. But in producing abundance, we live out of abundance.
Mhm.
So I think I'll keep it around there, man. For me, that's pretty much the scope. Cool. Let's see what they see.
All right. So this is from the Bible study answer. In general, Christians should be in the forefront. Wait, what's the wrong one? Sorry. This was number 9. Work is all that we do to rule over the earth. It's more than what we get paid to do. It is all that we do as his rejects. Okay. Right.
Uh, hey, those Bible studies answers for me, like some of them, like it's a bit of a swing and miss. Okay, regions though, I like that word. I just want to remind us what a regent is. It's something to do. It's something to do with like
a reject. A regent.
yeah, regent. It's like something to do with like subjects of a king or something, or his. Yeah, let me just check regent meaning. So regent. Oh wow. Yeah, a regent is a person appointed to administer a state because the monarch is a minor or is absent or incapacitated.
We talked about this already. Oh, in a previous episode.
The last one, I think. So yeah, sort of.
I can't believe you forgot what region we.
No, well, we spoke about suzerain. Then you use this word.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you read this definition before. Okay. Anyway,
I think about suzerain. I think about suzerain. Remember, like we spent like a good 2 minutes on seeing. Anyway, uh, yeah. All right. Now, next question, sir.
ooh, this one. I don't know where I stand here, but anyway, what does this passage say about stewardship over the earth? What does this imply for environmental issues? Okay, so clearly, like the first thing God has told us was to be fruitful and multiply and to govern over the earth. So to make sure we are not destroying, we are governing. All right. So I'm all for helping the environment and And I do think as Christians, we shouldn't it we shouldn't be oblivious to the environmental issues. Um, yeah. We should, in our best interest, put the 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 earth first.
Yeah.
There's a but coming. I can hear it. But I do believe where we can, where we can help each other, where we can help human beings, I think we could try and focus on that. But in saying that, in helping the environment, you are also helping human beings because a lot of the issues caused, like environmental damage, does affect human beings. I just don't want us to become a society that's like so focused on saving the penguin when we can't save the malnutrition kid. Right. That's all I'm saying. Let's tackle. We need to tackle all the issues, but let's not be so caught up where if I see a dog choking and a kid choking, I go and rescue the dog or whatever. You know what I mean? Like sort of
Fun. No, tough one. Tough one. Which level do you pull? Which group of people on the train tracks? Do you know the train tracks problem?
yeah. It's one of those.
Oh, I liked it, man. No, yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, no, I think for me, our stewardship, what does this passage say about our stewardship over the earth? What does this imply for environmental issues? So our stewardship over the earth is that we are responsible for it, right? We are responsible to ensure that within our capabilities, within our equipping, that we take care of it, that we do it well, and that we multiply them, that we, yeah, like to go with the statement that I said previously, you produce abundance and live out of abundance. Instead of this mentality that's, there's like this zero-sum mentality where I must have more. If I don't have, I will lose, a type of thing. So for me, our stewardship should come from a place of trust in God and trust up for His provision, and also in honoring God by taking care of all that He has placed in our hands. So, not being wasteful of stuff, um, of resources, of actively looking to actually take care of them or multiply them. Taking care of animals, like we were wasteful. Yeah. Yeah. Actively looking to take care of our animals and the environment and stuff, and of course each other. So yeah, man, just a full circle, taking care of everything as far as we can. Although I do know, just as a thought, there is a Bible verse somewhere in the Old Testament that basically says, or is it in the Old Testament? It basically says that the earth is going to come to ruin. Like there is going, oh yeah, pollution and all that type of stuff. So this doesn't mean like we give up and we just say, whatever, but it's sobering because we know what's going to happen. But at the same time, don't you dare be a part of the bad things happening. Like we know the world's going to get more sinful.
stop littering.
Douche.
That's what is so simple, guys. I don't even know how to make it less simple.
That one, it's tough because some people say it's job creation. It's like, bro. So yeah, that one, but anyway, so don't be a part of the problem. That's the main thing that I get from this. And be part of the solution. Don't be passive. Don't passive. Goodness gracious, don't be passive. Sorry guys, I check myself with British versus American pronunciation all the time. So sometimes my Y's get crossed. Anyway, don't be passive. Don't be a fence sitter. Don't be lukewarm. So number one, avoid doing bad things. Number two, actively intend to do good things.
Be vegan.
You're not called to be vegan, to be fair, but if you want to be, go ahead. Like, I think don't crap on people who want to eat meat because there's nothing against eating meat actually. Let's just not be
Was adamant.
super
At your point.
Up until the fall, yeah. Everything was technically vegan up until the fall, bro. Yeah. Yeah. I, well, actually, they could have eaten cheese. I mean, okay, everything was vegetarian up until the fall. Let's just say that. I don't know. Yeah. But so, guys, don't be a part of the problem and actively be a part of the solution. It's not enough. It's not within our being to just sit by and just. So not that it's like all on our shoulders, but what you can do type of thing. But yeah, let me not categoric all over the place. If that's even a correct reference. I'll read this answer here. It's number 10. This is a bit of a paragraph. The answer from the Bible study says, in general, Christians should be in the forefront of the environmental debates. Ha la la. The creation story explains why the stewardship of the earth matters. Specifically, the command to rule over creation does not give people a license to exploit or misuse the world's resources. The world belongs to the Lord. Oh, yes, belongs to the Lord. We are stewards, we are governors, but it belongs to the Lord, not to us. We are regents and stewards. So even though we may use it for our needs, we dare not. Well, some of the words that I use, we dare not misuse what God has made and called good. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Some of these answers are swing and miss. I love that answer. I love that answer. All right, John, the next one. I think we'll just do like two more. The next one. Or one more one. Let's just do one more because the next one you have to end there.
Cool. What does this passage say to those who seek work as merely the means to other pursuits or merely as a platform for music? All right. Yeah, so people will see. So we, okay, so the way I can break it down, like coming from a negative side, is people who the only thing they want to do in this world is just to be rich. For some reason, they just want to have a lot of money. So it's not that it's their purpose or anything. They just want to be able to either have power over people, control people, or whatever. And they feel like the only way to do it is through money. And maybe the other reason they want to have money is just so that they can just be very self-indulgent, be able to do whatever they want. So for them, working hard and ignoring things like not getting married or being a father or mother is just so that they can achieve this status or this level of success that they feel is right to them.
Right.
And I think what this passage is telling us that it's not about like the destination, it's about like the journey,
Right.
you know? If I look at it from like Adam's perspective, before the fall, obviously he didn't know about death. So this was his life forever. It was gonna be him work. There wasn't a destination. God didn't tell him, okay, when you have 2,000 vineyards and they're all producing the best wine, good. That's all you need to be. There's nowhere in scriptures does God tell Adam is a end goal, is a finality.
Yeah.
And even in saying that, even when people do reach their success goals or whatever, they still want more. Because that's what we are created to do. We are created to keep on going and going and going. Which is why we have to be content in whatever situation we are in. Doesn't mean you mustn't be ambitious, but we don't need to like overwork. What is the word? We don't need to like put all this pressure on us to succeed and to. I think like last season we were talking about like pressure and contentment in general. So I like this whole full cycle normally. So yeah. Or then the next part of the question, or merely as a platform for ministry. Platform for ministry.
Like it's not about the work, it's just the work you just get by sort of with the work. But then some people are like, Never told you about God today's started to know. I'm guessing that's sort of where it is.
Oh, okay. Like,
Or it you just do a bit of work so that you have money just to live. And then you I, I don't know. I could be wrong about this, but then like Paul I think did it the right way. I'm not sure. But like you work just so that you can survive and then use the money to minister. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to view this or this.
and I think it's what the first thing you say where it's like, I want to be part of Microsoft so I can minister to people. I don't know. Is that evil? But that's not a raw bad thing as well.
Uh, we'll see what the answer be. It's
Yeah, so that second part of the question, I'm not too sure. That first part of the question, what are your thoughts?
first part I would say
Work as merely the means.
just the pursuit. So yeah, I think definitely like spot on what you're saying about self-indulgence, about, you know, just looking to gather resource oneself. All of it is like that type of view that's very prevalent in the world. I think that's just sits the selfish aspect of it, and not the purposeful aspect, the fruitful aspect, or the generous aspect, who God is and who He calls us to be. So I think that it says that those who pursue it in that way are pursuing it wrong. That's what I think. It says that the way for us to pursue work is in and of itself, because it is a good thing to do. In and of itself, it fulfills us and our purpose. In and of itself, it produces abundance in multiplication, all that stuff.
Yeah, like this work isn't about self. It's for future I think it's a psalm or something where it's about David says, God bless me and generations after me. Or generations and generations are generated. Like it's a future minded aspect of the app. It's not about self. The being fruitful and multiply. Because like if you have a farm that has 1,000 potatoes, you can't eat all the 1,000. Yeah. As much as you want to. It's about the next generation and generations.
And other people are, and are you, and yeah, people around you. Well, fair. And then I just see if I read this and bit of anything. People who see work as merely a platform for ministry. So I think we shouldn't discount whatever we're doing. We shouldn't half-heartedly do it. Yeah, wherever we are, wherever we're placed, we shouldn't be half-hearted about it. We should do it with all that we can and do all work as to the Lord. I think that's Corinthians.
What about working in the ministry? Like even part of staff
Even more so,
or church?
even more so, like just full on fire. Like there, it's very clear. Like there's a direct tie to what you're doing in the key. You clearly see it. But as to say that in other places, it's also good. You can also serve God in that. Like the world must run. That's it. The world must run.
Can't just have churches and can't just have farms.
Yeah, I mean, if we go forward in the Bible and the way society was formed, there's different people that did different things. There's the priest who definitely did a sort. Yes, there's farmers, there's carpenters, there's all the different people that did the different things. So that the
Jesus was a carpenter.
yeah, so that the livelihood, so that all things could come together, so they could be fruitful together and multiply. Everyone had their role, everyone had their part, everyone had their purpose. Everything was good, in the grand scheme. Everything was good, and all of it serves God. So yeah, I think that's an important point there, to see like some of the work, for instance, that's outside of just direct ministry, as if it doesn't necessarily serve God, which is,
I like that. Yeah.
so I think we shouldn't see our like that way. That's not the correct way.
What about ministers pursuing money to do ministry?
You shouldn't pursue money, yeah, but they should trust that, yeah, no, if you're pursuing money, then are you then pursuing God, like, right? Yeah. That's a different thing. I don't think, yeah. So, let's check out some of this most one here. Not the biggest paragraph. It says, work is partly the means to meet needs in other areas of our lives, partly, yes, but it has meaning and value to God in itself. Lovely. It should not be viewed only as a platform for witnessing. Like, okay. I'm going to take a moment here just to see what this thing means by witness. I'm gonna Google witnessing Bible.
Oh, one of our key verses, by the way, is Genesis 1, verse 28. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, to rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. So throughout this series or this topic, let's just try and memorize that verse because it is the first command God gave to us.
That's cool. So in the Bible, witnessing is sharing your faith in Jesus with others. It involves sharing how Jesus has changed your life and what he has done for the world. So yeah, like someone just being like, yeah, I'm just at this company, but while I'm here, while I'm doing these sales, while I'm calling these customers, I don't forget what Jesus is. So I think it's not bad, but there is work for us to do. And the work shouldn't be downplayed. You doing a good job shouldn't be downplayed, you know, because sometimes people like will view it as just like, just work, and then they'll come and there's possibly even elements of, yeah, but how many people have I told you about Jesus type of thing? Like it's a bit of a, okay, but I'm not going to swallow too many things in the midst. I'm just thinking of different ways that it's not the right approach. Yeah. Right, mates. I think it's going to be episode 2. So let me conclude off at some point. So, yeah, no, we've discussed work today. We've discussed what it means, what it can mean, what it shouldn't mean, according to the design of God. And I hope that you just continue to review your perspective and reflect on your thoughts about what work means to you. And that even in, for instance, looking forward to retirement, that we still look for ways to be fruitful and contribute to the world and not just, lazy around. I mean, if you continue to hear stories about people, they get bored. They start to just, they feel almost they feel almost lost. And yeah, we do actually perish like hate it. But without work. So work is a good thing, man. And just as a thought, like, like lifestyles like those in Japan and whatnot, they live such long lives and such healthy lives because they're so active, because they're not sedentary. They walk up and down, they do their gardens and all that stuff. So that's something to think on.
Maybe as a closing thought or question, I'll just thought of it now. For someone out there that's conflicted in, is the work that I'm currently doing, whatever it may be, mechanic, cleaner, in corporate, junkie, whatever, if they're conflicted in, is this where I'm supposed to be? What does like Genesis tell us of that? Like this feeling that, am I doing what God has called me to do?
Me.
What did you say about that?
I say, as long as you're doing what you can and you are intending to be fruitful in that, then you're doing what God wants you to do. Because where you are, even sometimes if you get to a place without God wanting you to be there, it's one of two things will happen. It's either once you start wanting to go God's way, I think, because it's one of two things. If it's either once you want to start going God's way, He creates an exit for you.
Yeah.
Do what He wants you to do. Or He's like, you're here now, my child, and there's something that I can work with.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Do you have any examples?
Man, depends what you're asking.
No, I mean, like in your life, has there ever been a point where you thought this was the right place I was supposed to be, and it ended up not being, but God still used it for good?
It's a tough one to think of. Huh. I don't know, man. I guess maybe just the way that I got into university. Like, I thought it was going to look one day. I think I'll just stick with that for now. I thought it was going to be biochemical engineering. I thought it was going to be Ep2. Well, that's all they said about biomedical engineering. And then that is the whole lot of stuff based on, obviously, some just poor decisions from me. And then otherwise, just circumstances, waitlisted, stuff like that. Means that I ended up studying a different degree in biomedical engineering. I didn't go study at this. I said the UJ. Yo,
my journey at GCSEs, the people that I met, the experiences that I had.
And the fact that it happens, you know, I would have studied in 2014 if things events, quote unquote, the way I was supposed to. Wow, the way I did do in 2014, I was just sitting around. Oh no, I had to try and get work, but I was a different person back there, dude. Like, in terms of,
This is like a gap year.
yeah, essentially. But I actually redid my maths.
The strict man.
This is a true maths. I just tried to get it
Oh yeah.
to another grade. Yeah. So another, I was called it grade. Which I fortunately did find. I spiked into the next grade, but I made it. So yeah, just as something to do. I mean, I got into UJ before I even wrote the final exams. That's, yeah. Uh, so yeah, dude, for me, like the way I would have imagined it was like getting to university in 2014 that I studied by a little bit, but it didn't happen that late. Also because I just didn't, yeah, number of factors. Yeah. But things have, worked out in a beautiful way, man. And for instance, I know a big part of the reason you and I are here today, and he was doing Bible study because I myself have been in a Bible study, and the Bible study I was in, or the friend that I met at UJ, you know, on Google Friends. Yeah. So it's just something I can trace as an example. Yeah. So there's God definitely can help for. So that's one thing I can put on there. So.
Yeah, and then to answer my question, I guess if you're conflicted in what you're doing, like try and like examine the aspects. Is it something that's like, is it taking you away from God? Is the work taking you away from God? Can you see yourself like this company? The people are very, I don't know, not spiritual or whatever. They don't give you room to be a Christian or to be a follower of God. If there's stuff like that, then please pray for God to show you a way out, because obviously God doesn't want to put you in a place that's going to hinder the relationship with Him. But also, if you're not feeling stuff like that, then God is definitely able to use that tough work environment for good.
Mm.
For an example, for me, I definitely have one. When I started off in as a because I studied IT, right? So my whole university career or whatever livelihood was programming. And then the first job I had, I could have chose between two jobs. One was a software development job, and the one I did pursue because of issues at the first offer was a data scientist, which there is some programming aspect, but most of it is basically querying data. So it's not too hectic on the programming side. So for the first like 6 months, I was doing that and I felt very bored. I felt like, I could be put to more good because other people that also interned with me were put into the AI department, were put into things where they were doing more programming things, even though they didn't even have a programming background. So I always like question God, but like, how come they got there? So maybe that's more political or whatever. But like, I know for the first few months, I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. And a lot of it was I did choose to go into that job, but I didn't choose which department I was going to be in. Um, so yeah, and then eventually after that, things just, it was just God after that. I had like a check-in with one of the senior managers, and she's like, "Can you just tell me your background?" And I was like, "Yeah, so I studied computer science in university." And like, she just immediately stopped me there. She's like, "What? You're a programmer? We're looking for developers in the department that she's running. It's like, what are you doing over here?" You know, because she was running these two departments. It's like, your skills are not needed here. We need you that side. And the very next week, she sent me to another building where they were doing software development. And that's where I started learning full stack developing, which is my career. I am a full stack developer. And so, yeah, I didn't leave the company I was in. I I don't know if I want to say I trusted God, but I was, I stayed there. I did things. I prayed, obviously, about it.
Mm.
I tried to be as Christian as I could. And it worked out. God has, kept me on this path. So I definitely was conflicted as at first. Like, should I go somewhere else? What should I do? Um, and yeah, and there's definitely many instances of being conflicted, definitely in my career. But God always, like you said, either shows you the way out, or He does something good where you are at. So, like even last year with getting a new job, it was a way out. Yeah. So it was the hard way out, and it was if you will know obviously how tough it was last week. But yeah, it's I've been in both situations where you stay and things work out for good, or where God tells you, okay, it's time for you to go. So if you are out there and you are conflicted, first things to pray, or maybe actually just start off with some praise. Just thank Him for that situation that you're in. You know, it could have been worse. You actually be getting a salary or whatever. Maybe it's not as good, but let's do some praise and then do some prayer. And I can tell you from like just from last year, it's you don't see it until you see it. It's so crazy, but yeah, I think we can end up with it. That's cool stuff.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, so I really hope anyone listening that you be blessed. It's blessed us, it's blessed me. May you have a blessed day, week, one period further. And we'll catch you on the next episode. We love you so much, right?
Dare to be different.
Peace.